What up, folks? It's your man Tony Wiggins with a Tuesday edition of Locked On Jaguars. Quite simply put, we are going to own it. That's right. We're going to own it today. I'll tell you what it is. Just a second.
You are Locked On Jags, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on I wish I could say a happy Tuesday, but it's not too much of a happy Tuesday today because the Jaguars are terrible and all we're doing is talking about how we can get out of this situation. Today's show is brought to you by On Location. On Location is the official hospitality partner of the NFL. It's the only place to score a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl ticket and experience package. Visit On Location, exp.com/SB56 for more information or search Super Bowl On Location. Glad we got that out good and slow so you can understand exactly where I was coming from with that. Well, we're going to own it today. And what are we going to own? We're going to figure out what it is. Own it was the slogan that Urban Meyer used when he took over this franchise several months ago and up through the draft. And we heard so many things. We heard him talking about fans from other teams coming into the stadium and what had to stop. We have heard about Warriors. We've heard about the best he's ever seen at this and the best he's ever seen at that. We've heard about the best nutrition ever. We've heard that when this team finally gets good, how these fans are going to love the team. We've heard it all. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Urban on the carpet. I'm going to be Shad Khan, and I'm also going to be Urban Meyer giving you the answers. All right. So I'm going to talk about the promises that you made in segment one. I'm going to talk about the things you have actually accomplished in segment two. And I'm going to tell you in segment three whether or not I'm going to keep going with you in charge and why or why not we should be able to do that. Okay, so we're in a little bit of a courtroom today. I'm going to be judge, jury, and the guy that executes the plan moving forward. How about that? We're going to own it today. It's just me and you, Urban. Y'all hang with me today. It's just us. We're just having a conversation. Okay, Shad. Let's have a conversation. You had an impeccable record as a leader at more than one institution where you won championships. You came in as a program builder and you built everything. Yes, I did. I don't need you to interrupt me, Urban. Listen. All right, I'm giving you your flowers. This is why I came after you, because of your ability to delegate authority, because you weren't a play caller, but you were a coach that oversaw the entire operation, delegated authority, developed players, handled talented players who in other situations may not have been handled properly because they are guys who get in trouble. And you had multiple guys on one team and you were able to get all of that stuff fixed. Went to a situation at Ohio State where Jim Tressel, the guy who wears sweater vests and who looks like Mr. Rogers, ran a good program, but guys got caught giving autographs, and everybody thought that was the worst thing ever. So they hired you, right? And had a guy in place by the name of Luke Fickell, who was the interim coach. And I think they went undefeated or close to it. And you came, took over as staff, and you let Luke Fickell go. Luke Fickell went and got him another job. And now he's a hot candidate for a coach, by the way. So the fact is that, but you hired Ryan Day, who is a good coach of his own, who had NFL experience. So even when you kind of looked like you made a mistake, you were able to recover and won another national championship at Ohio State. left with some turmoil because you're trying to protect your people, which is an admirable thing that I can actually say that in some realms of this industry does not work against you. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, you can look at politics or anything else, and I'm saying that with a smile on my face. Sometimes when guys will put it all on the line to protect a subordinate, even at his own peril, there are other people who are very powerful who don't necessarily look at that as a bad thing. The media will make it that way, and rightfully so in many cases, because the issue that he's covering up usually is something that is way more important than helping a friend. But still, there are people who don't frown on that type of stuff, and they do make a lot of decisions. So we won't be hypocrites when it comes to that. So you get hired here as a Jaguars coach, and we had situations where leaders in the past talked about character and having the right guys, and fans even used to kid the organization about it being Club Med and we're going to sunshines and rainbows and make marshmallows. As long as everybody got along, nobody cared about winning. Players who really were alpha dogs and great players who wanted to win, that had personalities. Many people in the media, okay, actually called them adjectives and called them names, and because they got information from the guys who used to be here about them, and now those guys are elsewhere and they're getting sacks and getting sacking a quarterback and signing $100 million deals and whatever, and they're not here. We paid the nice guy $80 million and he stayed here 1 year. He's gone too. So we bring you in. We think that there's a way, because of your track record, you can actually get talented players who want to stay here and buy in, but yet and still kind of keep them in line a little bit so that they're not called names by people in the media. In fact, you're going to protect them from people in the media. You're actually going to take care of them. The players and the coaches will be the most important people in the organization because after all, Urban, they're the reason why people watch the games, not because of people like me in the press box, not because of owners in the owner suites, not because of anything other than what those players can do on the field and the result that comes with it. In fact, media guys get raises and get promotions and get TV appearances because players draw so much attention, i.e. Stephen A. Smith and Allen Iverson, where he self-admits that. So Brian Windhurst, LeBron James, these guys get generational contracts because they covered a guy who was very good and won titles. So with that being said, you promised this, that you would have the best strength and conditioning program in the world, and that will make a difference, that this will be a destination place for everyone, that will make a difference, that you will be fast, you will play hard, you will outwork everyone, that you're going to have the best of the best, and the coaches will be the best of the best, and you'll be more prepared and more detail-oriented than any other team. That your defensive line, after one chance in free agency, would be a top 32 defense. That your offense would be dynamic, and that you would take care of the quarterback and Trevor Lawrence to provide him with weapons and have a very dynamic offense, which will be mixed with some college and pro principles. I want to know if you've done it. And I want you to think before we come back off a break, if you've done that or anything else you want to throw in that might make me believe that any of the promises that you made, Jacksonville has any chance of coming into fruition. I want you to do it after you think about it now. Don't do it too quick. I want you to think about it. And then get back with me and tell me if any of that stuff you said is true. You listen to the podcast for Power of Knowledge. You switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money. Because with Boost Mobile, you get the power of a 5G phone so you can listen to all the latest episodes. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line so your family can harness all that brain power. And the power of one of America's largest 5G networks so you can do it all at the speed of 5G. With all of that money, you'll save, and the knowledge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become. Switch to Boost Mobile and find out. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest networks. More power to save, Boost Mobile. Disclaimer now is this: a free phone is limited to new customers only and one per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers, coverage not available everywhere for all phones and networks. See Boost Mobile for details. All right, Super Bowl 56 at SoFi is less than 100 days away, and On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL, is the only place to score a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl ticket. That's right, an experience package. Select your exact seats and choose from elite experiences featuring an exclusive pregame celebration with NFL legends, five-star LA hotels, and food by the great Wolfgang Puck. I love me some Wolfgang Puck. Visit On Location e.xp.com/s.p s.b.56 for more information. I'm going to read that again. It's visit location e.x.p, the word .com slash s.b.56. So it's exp.com/Super Bowl 56 for more information, or search Super Bowl On Location. That's On Location, exp.com/SB56, or search Super Bowl On Location. All right, man, we're rolling along here, and we're doing a little Q&A. I'm playing both Shad and Urban. And in the previous segment, I basically told Urban in my Shad voice exactly what it is that I thought he was doing. So I'm basically doing this as a little bit of an exercise to try to take my emotions out of it and try to get to the point where I want to find out tangibly what has really happened based on what my expectations were and whether or not my expectations were inflated. Let's get back to it. All right, Urban, I told you about what you said you were going to do. So here's what I see you've done. You're 2-10. Okay. You use a lot of money in free agency on a bunch of different guys. You admitted in free agency that you kind of didn't play it the right way because you didn't get a chance to recruit. And I kind of heard you sort of blame that on the fact that because of COVID protocols, you weren't able to get your hands on people. Nobody else was either. So we're going to just throw that out of the window. You drafted guys that you were very, very familiar with and that your coaches have had experience with because you recruited them and you knew them from college. So at first I accepted that as possibly an advantage because of the COVID protocols, the COVID-19 protocols, and that you would have a built-in sort of backup plan because of the previous, those protocols being the way they were. Your previous relationships would probably help until it starts seeming like that's what you think you're going to do all the time. You see, the way that this normally works is the scouts do all of the scouting. Coaches are coaching. Most coaches that I've ever talked to, or general managers that I ever talked to, mainly the coaches, they pretty much, guys ask them about their alma maters, playing other guys' teams or their players. They may have two players on the team where those guys' schools are playing against each other, and coaches laugh about it, and they ask the coaches to watch games. Say, no, I was watching film. I peeked at it. I was eating. I looked up for about 15, 20 seconds, but I ain't paid that much attention. And then when you talk to coaches, normally after the season, the coaches, when it comes to the draft process, they say, we got to get with the scouts, man. I don't know any of these guys. I'm just going to take a quick look, give my input on it. So basically scouts have done all this work. Then the scouts bring him in and say, can he help you? Like, looks like he can, he does this. Okay. I like that. Boom. And we'll come up with a plan. And this is what I think we need for us to cook this meal. And talk to the guy and see if he fits in mentally, because you're going to be the one who's around him every day. And you come in at the last minute. You come in when your season ends in December or January and you've done your exit stuff, and then you get with the scouts. From what I understand, this is the way you want to do it. You want your coaches, who should be coaching your bad football team, to be paying attention to college more than they should. And I think that's a problem, because now you're making yourself the Marvin Lewis Cincinnati Bengals, who without they didn't want to be in that situation where they had a small scouting staff. They just had a small scouting staff, which is why they couldn't get over the hump. So you're going to purposely put yourself back into that situation. So tell me, how did you do with your draft picks? Well, Trevor is coming along, Shad. Of course, Travis, we lost him. He got hurt. And well, what did you see him before he got hurt? Nothing much, because my running backs coach wasn't really using him in the games too much. And I even said in the press conference that I wanted to say, why did you say it in the press conference? Why didn't you tell him in private? Well, I do. I don't micromanage that stuff. Well, whether or not you micromanage it or not, you said it in the press conference that you wanted to see more of him. Why didn't he know that first? Well, I try to let my coaches do their thing. Okay. All right. What about James Robinson? Was he benched? No, he wasn't benched. He said on TV, sounded like he got benched. And well, he was a little banged up, so we probably attributed to him fumbling the ball to him being banged up. But you ain't attribute that Norwell missed the block against Aaron Donald, who's the best defensive tackle ever, and maybe James got lit up and he fumbled. Did you go ask him? Did somebody ask him who's hurt? No, no, no. Okay, okay. So let's just say you're right. You're saying, well, maybe he ain't himself, so we're gonna run Carlos. When it was 37-7, why did you put him back in the game? Don't worry, I'll wait. Well, I'm not really in charge of it. Wait. Hold on. You're not in charge of it, but in the preseason, you were saying that Travis Etienne needed to run more. So if you're not in charge of it, you said that was going to change. So, by the way, I paid you to be in charge of it. Because you were never a play caller in college. I paid you because you're a delegate of authority, and you're not coaching your players only. You're coaching your whole organization. You're coaching your coaches too. So, are those guys just out there doing whatever they want to do, or what are you doing? But if you're not doing all of that, what are you doing? Oh, you're watching the draft. You're watching guys. You're watching Jameis Williams and Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. You're paying attention to those guys. You're watching. Okay. Well, that's not really a good idea, but just in case, are those the only guys you're watching? Are you watching every player? Have you ever seen the kid Alex Burks from Arkansas? Did you watch him too? Okay. All right. Because if you're watching players and you didn't watch him as well, did you watch Jahan Dotson from Penn State? What about Evan Neal from Miami? You watching him? What about Stingley? How did he play last week? Did he play? Don't tell me you saw him play last week now, because he sat out all year. Okay, so you're watching college players. If you're watching a few of them and not watching them all, you're watching too many. You're not doing it right, because you're supposed to be watching them all. But really, you probably shouldn't be watching any of them. So that means you probably shouldn't be talking about it in the press conferences, because you got enough stuff going on here that's not right that you can't give me an answer to. I don't want you to tell me about guys that you recruited when you can't give me an answer to what's going on with your team right now. The only answers that you give me is that you need to talk to your coaches. So if you haven't talked to them yet, and the game was 2 days ago, what in the have you been doing since then? What can you tell us? You got a lot. Oh, you got a good locker room. They're all Warriors. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Everybody happy? You talked to James Robinson since he was on TV? Is he happy? I just need. I want to know. You think everybody needs to get away from it again? Wish we had another bye week so people just get away from it. You think you get away from it? Is that what you do? I tell you what. Let me pause for a minute, and I'm gonna give you some idea of how we can get better next year. Would you take my suggestions as the owner? Okay, I'm gonna give them to you now. I'm gonna give them to you, and I'm gonna tell you exactly where I get these things from, Urban. I really am. I'm going to tell you where I get some ideas from. I've been doing a little research myself. I've been around the NFL. I've been studying the NFL since like 2008 or whatever, when I bought the team. And I've learned some hard lessons, real hard lessons. I'm going to tell you what those lessons are in just a second. In life, we're all bound for different things. With beachbound.com vacations, you could be bound for adventure. bound for passion, bound for discovery, or bound for togetherness, bound for immersion, bound for rejuvenation. Or maybe you may be bound for encountering the unexpected. Personally, when I'm at a beach resort, I'm bound to end up at the poolside bar or maybe creating my own taco flight because that's kind of what I do, usually with a cigar and a single malt. As long as I've got that, I'm good. With beachbound.com, you can find the perfect beach vacation for you. No matter what you are looking for, what are you bound for? Visit beachbound.com today. All right, man. On segment 3 here, we thank you again for making us your first listen. A little fun podcast for me because I kind of got sick and tired of doing things the same way because we kept having the same result. So I'm not going to plead insanity and continue to do things the same way, even though we have the same result. I'm going to do things a little bit different. So I'm having this little conversation with Shad, and I haven't been drinking. So y'all don't think that I'm doing this because I've been liquored up. I'm not liquored up, okay? But I do want to tell you and show you how this conversation would go if I was Shad Khan. And I'm basing the Urban Meyer responses on the way Urban always responds to everything. So let's finish. When we left off, I was telling you, Urban, how I want to fix things. So I see this video of Cooper Kupp and how he's explaining routes. And he was explaining the touchdown that he caught against us and what was going to happen and how he was able to beat us. And he got real detail oriented. And then I saw Dan Orlovsky break it down on TV. And I'm wondering, do our players speak like that? Are our players intelligent that way? Do our players can they explain football that way? Because all I ever see our guys do is turn and look at each other and hold their hands up like they're under arrest and talking to each other. All I see is guys from our team that don't know when they're punting. And as a matter of fact, it was the punter. He did not know he was supposed to be punting the ball. All I know is I've seen guys on our team line up too many people. I know you ain't cheating if you're trying, man. But come on, you got to do better than that. And then I seen you get a penalty and call a timeout, and then you did the same thing next play. So here's what I'm going to do. This is how we're going to get better. What's your plan for the draft and free agency? Well, we're just going to go out and try to make this a destination play shot and get some Warriors in here and get people. You really think people want to come here with all of this stuff going on? The fact that every time we turn on the TV, we're in the news for something else other than playing good, smart football. How are we going to get them here? You can't recruit them now. Well, we have the money. We'll just probably have to pay a little bit more. Okay. You mean my money? You're going to give them a little bit more of my money, and you're going to actually pay people more money than they're actually worth to come here. So you're already sending them the message that you're pimping yourself out. You're like a John. You come here and do this, and you're kind of giving them an advantage over you as a coach, right? What about staff? We're going to get a whole new staff. We got some guys that just got fired from Florida, and so you're going to hire a bunch of college dudes that just got fired, and one of them just got canned because he couldn't find the right quarterback, and then he also didn't. People thought he was playing the wrong quarterback, and everyone and their brother and their mother who is saying that he also didn't play the right running back. All the people at the Senior Bowl and Joe Marino and other guys at Draft Scout are wondering why Pierce didn't get the ball at Florida. So you're going to bring him in. So you still sticking to people that you know and that you're comfortable with. All right. So I tell you what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move in a different direction, man. You can go ahead and sell your house out there in Glen Kernan, or you can stay because North Florida is a real good place. I got more money. I got enough money. My money's longer than train smoke. I could choke a ox if he was in here right now with how much cash I got. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go and let you can tip on out, and you can take your chef and, all the people that you got counting birds out there and all of that stuff out there on the field, and all your Warriors, we can get all y'all out of here within probably 3 or 4 hours. You take care, bro. But we're gonna go and move in a different direction, and no need to worry about what we're gonna do. But whatever we're gonna do it without you, because I kind of owe it to the fans of this city to make sure that I put the proper team on the field, that we actually have a new direction. I do believe that the only way we're going to get better and our players are going to sound like Cooper Kupp one day is if we actually get a real nuts and bolts football coach in here who feels like it is his job and his responsibility and that he's in charge of everything, including how many damn brooms are in the closet in the janitor's room. Can I be any more clear? Shad, if you don't fire that clown, there is no way this is going to change. Period. Or as a city girl say, period. Period. With a T. Yeah, I'm on one now, man. You can't come on here and do podcasts every week, pacifying people and trying to make people think that it's going to get better. Man, I'm watching these people. It's like watching sheep. Every time I go down to that stadium, they're coming in there optimistic with their jerseys on. It's like watching a bunch of sheep going to get slaughtered. It's like they don't even know. As soon as they get in here, man, they're going to let loose a bunch of coyotes on here, and they're going to lock the doors, and you're going to be able to go anywhere. And you're going to have to deal with that hurt every single time you drive across the Hart Bridge. I'm sick. I told a story a long time ago when I was doing radio. I saw people in their own truck. They got out. They stopped traffic on the Hart Bridge. Fought like 4 of them, fist fights, 2 men and 2 women, knocked each other silly. One of them got tired and said, hold up, gave the timeout signal, reached in, busted open a Bud Light and drunk it and said, let's go home. And everybody got in the car and looked like they started hugging in the I swear to God, that is what this inept franchise has done to this fan base. I went through all that to tell y'all this. He need to fire Urban Meyer ass so fast when this year is over and find him a new football coach. It ain't even funny. And if he doesn't, I'll still be here doing podcasts. And every single day, this is what you're going to hear from me because I love this city and I love these fans too much. And that dude is making a mockery of what this is supposed to have been. I'm not making a mockery of you, and I thank you for making me your first listen every day and telling you to make your boy Q your second listen every day on the Locked On Bets podcast, him and his guest, Lee Sterling, who analyzes it and breaks it down so you can make good wagers when you go try to get you some money on Bet Online. That's right. Your boy Q and Lee Sterling, Locked On Bets every single day. Find it, subscribe. Y'all do the best to take care of each other, man. Tell your friends about this podcast. This is as real as I can get. I can't get no more realer than this. I promise you I can. I love y'all, man, and I thank y'all for making me your first listen every day, and I'm sorry we had to do this today. But, welp, not sorry for real. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.